A civil rights investigation is underway in New Jersey after a referee ordered a black high school wrestler, Andrew Johnson, to cut his dreadlocks or forfeit a wrestling match. The wrestler chose to cut his dreadlocks and ultimately won the match. The incident was caught on video and went viral, already viewed more than 14 million times. The referee, Alan Maloney, has been benched until the state review is complete. As several high-profile people have come out to condemn the incident, including New Jersey's Governor Phil Murphy, it's also sparked a reaction from sports activists, including Shireen Ahmed, who wrote an op-ed in The Guardian about how the event represented a familiar act of violence for black athletes, exposing the power structure within the sport. Shireen joins me now. She's a writer and sports activist. She's also the co-host of the podcast Burn It All Down. Shireen, you've got a number of perspectives on this. One is as an athlete, as somebody who might come up against regulations having to do with what's on your head. But I want to start with as a mother. When people see this, they think of their kids who, when they're involved in sports in high school, are really at the mercy of authority around them. So this guy was told, and you can see the sort of coach or somebody there, encouraging him, but he's told, you either cut your hair or you play. And he's got to make that decision. And he's thinking about his future, and he's thinking about his competitive nature. Seems to you to be an unfair position to put him in.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ali. But I think I would say that even my role as a mother, you can't separate that. And I certainly don't separate that from my identity as a Muslim woman and a woman of color. So I saw that video. It was incredibly jarring. I understand why friends of mine and members of the black community don't want to watch it because it's incredibly upsetting. And the way that he stands there and he's being propped up by teammates who are white. And I mean, I think the thing is incredibly horrific personally. And he shouldn't have been put in that position. My problem was with the lack of support he got or interference from parents or the coach. And I do realize that his family issued a statement that came out today and said that they put the responsibility of this on the official and not so much on the coaches. And that's their right and that's their experience. But as a person who has coached, as a mother, as someone who mentors young women in sports from marginalized communities, I did not think the way that rolled out was okay in any way.
So I just want to be clear here. You're sort of saying that the general support of the fact that he did that in the interest of competing and winning is the wrong construct. He shouldn't have been encouraged for being, saying, go ahead, cut my hair, I got to play. You're saying that the environment around him should have been such that that shouldn't have had to be the case. He shouldn't have had to be the one to push back on a coach or to even make that decision.
Well, I mean, let's remember, he's a high school kid. I mean, he shouldn't be put into position at all. I don't think he should have been in. And the way that this entire thing was framed was incredibly problematic. He was hailed as a hero and the situation was great. I mean, one of the biggest problems I had was specifically with sports media that I am a part of, saying this was a great team player. This wasn't an issue. The team didn't do anything for him. It's not created in a vacuum. He shouldn't have been put in this position. And secondly, upon further analysis, it doesn't even look like what the referee's actions were justifiable or illegal in any way, shape, or form. Now, Andrew Johnson had wrestled before with no problems with a cap and in one circumstance without a cap. This was unfair, particularly when that referee has a history of being involved in racial altercations to begin with. He has a history of this. This was about a power struggle, and it was very unfortunate and really terrible that a youth was put in the middle of this. And we know historically that white power structures in sport try to control the bodies of kids, whether it's through not allowing them to play with headscarves, and I know this, I'm an expert in this industry on this issue, whether it's making them, look at the flack that Serena gets for her hair and the way she dresses. This is about controlling the bodies of marginalized athletes.
And talk to me about your experience, Shireen. Have you had, wearing a headscarf, being a soccer player in school, did you face any of this?
Of course. I mean, my entire career, my sports career was thwarted because I decided to wear a headscarf. And I mean, the issue isn't as much about my choice. The issue is that the lack of opportunity and understanding here. Now, it's my choice to do what I want and wear what I want with my body, but the regulations around it are created, honestly, by privileged men. These are the people who sit at tables. There is no issue of safety. So I can undoubtedly tell you, I've spent over a decade researching this. These rules about safety are not rules. There is no provable data to say that a headscarf has injured a player or an opponent. It simply doesn't exist. And this is why I'm sitting back and saying what happened with Andrew Johnson was not. Dreadlocks have never been on file to have hurt anybody in a wrestling match. And Jonathan Burrows, the Olympic American wrestler, corroborated that. He has never seen that in 25 years of wrestling, seen this have to happen, and it was terrible.
Shireen, thank you for sharing your views with us. Shireen Ahmed is a writer and a sports activist. She's the co-host of the podcast Burn It All Down. Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.